When starting out on this journey, we tend to put a lot of expectations on ourselves, often many of which are not super realistic. Remember that macro counting is a tool that you can use for life. It's not a quick fix. Instead, it teaches you how to fit the foods that you love into your daily allotment and still reach your goals. Remember that anything in life is worth waiting for, so I encourage you to remain patient. Time, consistency, and patience are going to be three of the biggest keys to your success. Give yourself some time. Remember that you did not get to where you currently are overnight. Therefore, it is impossible for you to change completely overnight. With that being said, consistency is going to be your best friend. When you commit to consistency, you set yourself up to win big. When you develop the habit of consistency in your life and in your journey, you'll start to see positive changes in your life because our bodies and minds thrive on consistent behaviors. Remember though, we're human, which means that we will have some days that will be better than others, which is why it's critical that we focus on giving ourselves self-grace and practicing patience. Lack of patience is the #1 reason that people do not succeed. Benjamin Franklin said it best: he who has patience can have what he will. Next, let's talk about self-belief. Self-belief is essential in your journey because it positively affects your mind, which will help you tremendously in your journey. Self-belief helps you see opportunities. You're probably thinking to yourself, doesn't establishing clear, realistic goals help you see opportunities? Yes and no. Goals that you set rarely become a reality if deep down you truly don't believe that you can achieve them. When you believe in yourself, you will be more motivated and will do anything that needs to happen to work your hardest to see your goals through. Starting out, self-belief can be hard, especially when we have our past failures and things that people over the years have told us playing on repeat in our minds. Like Eleanor Roosevelt once said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. If you have questions in your mind like, can I really do this? What will other people say? Success is for others, not for me. I want you to actively pursue cultivating the trait of self-belief. Remember that self-belief is learnable. Take a moment to think about the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself and begin to discard them one by one. Secondly, you have to learn to deal with the negative voices inside your head. Over the years, limiting beliefs have built up, and the only way that you can overcome them is by calling them out one by one as they enter into your mind. Next, I want you to list out what your perceived strengths and weaknesses are and try to creatively flip your weaknesses into strengths. An example might look like this: your weakness is stubbornness. Mine too. Well, if you turn that stubbornness around and use it for something positive, it could actually be used well for single-minded determination, which could benefit you tremendously in reaching your health and fitness goals. Overall, self-belief helps you focus on what you become and cope with setbacks and deal with them for what they really are: temporary, not the end of the world. Once you have taken some time to commit to self-belief, I want you to establish some goals, mental and physical, that you would like to accomplish both short-term, 1 to 2 months, and long-term, 1 to 3 years. We'll talk more in depth about establishing your goals later in another video, but for now, I want you to be thinking about 3 to 5 mental goals and 3 to 5 physical goals that you will want to accomplish both short-term and long-term. Next, I want to talk about monitoring your progress. Progress photos, measurements, and/or weight should be taken at the same time each week, right after you wake up and go to the bathroom before you eat or drink anything. We encourage you to take starting progress photos. I know this might be hard for some, but I promise that you're gonna want them. Back when I first started my journey, I wish I would have taken starting photos. When taking progress photos, I recommend that you take front, back, and side. Ideally, progress photos should not be taken selfie style. Instead, ask someone in your household to take them for you or prop your phone up and self-time it. This will help ensure that you are getting an accurate representation of your progress each week. Another tip about progress photos is to wear the same clothes each week. This will also help to ensure that you're seeing the accurate changes in your body from week to week. When you take your progress photos, we recommend that you take your body measurements as well. Weighing yourself is up to you. If you struggle with weighing yourself weekly, we recommend that you take a step back and weigh yourself once every 4 to 6 weeks and really focus on body measurements and progress photos from week to week. However, when you first start out, we will need your starting weight as it directly correlates with your macro calculation. Last point I want to touch on before getting started is macro accuracy. We understand that reaching your macros spot on is going to be a little difficult when first starting out, which is why we highly suggest that you be intentional about meal planning and meal prepping, which you'll learn about in another video. However, there are a couple of guidelines that we want you to try and reach. On week 1, try your hardest to hit your protein as close as you can get and your carbs and fat within 10 to 15 grams. We advise that you do not check in until week 3 or 4 because we want you to practice consistency and let your body adapt before adjusting. By week 3, try narrowing down your macro accuracy within 1 to 5 grams of each macro. If you're close to that macro accuracy, you may complete your first check-in in the Ledbetter Macro Calculator to see if you should adjust your macros or not. One last tip: remember that meal prepping and planning will really help you to reach your macros more effectively. Failing to plan is planning to fail, so be sure to watch those videos on how to meal prep and plan effectively so that you can reach your macros within your accuracy.